Donald Trump is selling his phony board of peace in Gaza, a region that does not know peace, but he's selling off seats for $1 billion entry fee. And he's not only offered it to our allies like Canada and its Prime Minister Mark Carney, but also offered it now to Vladimir Putin. Yes, Vladimir Putin, who's currently at war with one of our allies, Ukraine, has been offered a seat on the board of peace overseeing Gaza reconstruction, as Donald Trump continues to demonstrate to the world that he is unfit for office, mentally unstable, and in decline. I'm Michael Popok. You're on the MeidasTouch Network and Legal AF. A few days ago, Donald Trump announced that he was forming a couple of different levels of government concerning Gaza. One would be a National Committee of Administration in Gaza, the NCAG, headed by certain technocrats, including a former Bulgarian UN representative to the region, Nikolai Madladanov. In addition to that operating committee, there is a board of peace. Who's on the board of peace? Well, the original people that were named to it included Tony Blair, former UK Prime Minister, controversial figure in that particular region, while he led the quartet to try to find peace there. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, Jared Kushner, son-in-law in chief. I'm not quite sure why he's on there, and a series of other people connected to Donald Trump. Now, last week, we saw that Donald Trump made an offer, according to Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, to have Canada join, but that Canada was trying to get around and understand the nuances, such as the $1 billion fee to get a seat. While Mark Carney was considering that, while he was meeting in Qatar and in China to cut deals to counteract Donald Trump's attack on our ally, as Mark Carney ate Donald Trump's lunch by making deals with China. The issue of whether he would be joining came up, and this is what he had to say about that.
Why are you accepting President Trump's invitation to join his board of peace? Is it acceptable to pay $1 billion to be a permanent member? And as well, do you have any concerns that this board could undermine the UN system?
Well, a couple of things there. One is that we will, there is a humanitarian tragedy in Gaza that is ongoing. And Canada will make every effort possible to address the situation and provide, at first step to alleviate stop the suffering, the intensification of the suffering, alleviate the situation, provide humanitarian aid, stabilize, ultimately move towards peace and a two-state solution. So we will explore every avenue in order to do that. Second, with respect to the specifics of the Board of Peace, the president raised it with me a few weeks ago. I said, in principle, yes, obviously consistent with what I just said. I will do what I can do. We will do as Canada what we can do to achieve those core humanitarian objectives. With respects to the specifics of the Board of Peace, we haven't gone through all the details of the structure, how it's going to work, what financing is for, et cetera. And so we will work through those in the coming days.
Is $1 billion reasonable, though?
That's one of the modalities of that money. How's it going? All these questions. Canada wants money to have maximum impact. Let me underscore one thing. Let me underscore one basic thing about the situation. We still do not have unimpeded aid flows, humanitarian aid flows at scale to the people of Gaza. That is a precondition for moving forward on this.
We thought, okay, well, he's inviting Canada. That sort of makes sense, sort of a make nice with our neighbors to the north that he's been busy bashing and undermining and degrading since he got into office. But then we have the new reporting today that he's invited Vladimir Putin. Now, this is all going to come to a head this week at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Yeah, that's where all the plutocrats and aristocrats and Wall Street types around the world get together to hobnob and rub elbows in Davos, Switzerland. Usually we have the central banker for America there in Jay Powell, the Fed chair, but since Donald Trump's busy trying to criminally prosecute him, he has sidelined him from that meeting, and instead, at the personal invitation of the leader of BlackRock, yes, the private equity firm in New York that Donald Trump is close with, who's now hosting this, one of the hosts for Davos, Donald Trump is going with his own contingency of Marco Rubio, Howard Lutnick, the family-owned business of Cantor Fitzgerald's Titan, along with Marco Rubio, Secretary of State and the trade representative. And Vladimir Putin, according to reporting, is sending his special envoy, Kirill Dmitriev, to meet with the U.S. contingency. So you know what's on the topic. I would hope Ukraine, which is still at war with the warring Putin, and now the Gaza peace board that Putin has been invited to become a charter member of. I mean, Donald Trump has just completely lost it. I did some earlier reporting this week about Donald Trump saying the crazy part out loud, that he's going to war to take Greenland by force against his allies, Norway, Denmark and Greenland as a protectorate of Denmark, because he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, because nobody believes that he settled 8 phony wars. And yes, he went after the Norwegian prime minister and said the reason that he is going to war against Greenland, to take it by force, is because he wasn't given the Nobel Peace Prize. So when you have that as a backdrop, this episode, it's brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack, hydration, and coffee sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. As someone who's constantly switching between research, recording, my family, and long work days, I rely on snacks that keep me sharp without spiking my blood sugar, and IQ Bar has genuinely delivered. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is the easiest way to try it all. 9 IQ Bars, 8 IQ Mix Sticks, and 4 IQ Joe Coffee Sticks. Every product is clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients, packed with brain-friendly ingredients like magnesium and lion's mane. The new year gives us all a chance to reset. Maximize your brain and body's potential with IQ Bars, protein bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. Their Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. And right now, IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text Legal AF to 64,000. Text Legal AF to 64,000. That's Legal AF to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. And then you see how all these various worlds come to collide all at the same time this week. You've got speculation, although I do not think this is going to happen, that the Supreme Court is going to rule on Donald Trump's tariff scheme and I think take the power away from him. Donald Trump, knowing that, last gasp uses the tariff power to attack our allies, representing more than $1 trillion worth of trade, with another 10% tariff because they oppose him in Greenland. As NATO and the EU are meeting later this week, EU emergency summit in Brussels on Thursday to talk about the problem named Donald Trump and his tariffs, as they consider retaliatory tariffs on their own. NATO considering what to do about Donald Trump as they try to cool it down. The German chancellor and the president of France saying that Europe should immediately go to the nuclear option, the doomsday button, and the anti-coercion instrument, which would be these retaliatory tariffs, right? As the Supreme Court is going to drop some new decisions tomorrow, but I don't think tariffs, as they meet in Davos, Switzerland for their yearly, fat cat summit, with Russia attending it as well. You see where all this is going. And then we've got this not only Putin is, listen to this, not only Putin, but there's reporting that Lukashenko of Belarus has also been invited to be on the peace board. This is a guy who's been a puppet of Putin for the last 20 years, right? Who wins his elections by 94 and 95%. You know what that means. Who is behind the Iron Curtain, who's allowed Putin to put nuclear weapons in Belarus to get closer to Europe. And this guy, this dictator, is going to be on the peace board for Gaza. It is just, but we got to call it out. I mean, I don't want people to get like Trump fatigue. It's not syndrome. It's Trump fatigue that he does so much crazy in such a short amount of time in these micro news cycles that we kind of get our eyes glaze over like a donut. But we can't, donuts. We can't allow that. We've got to call this out. Big week this week. So here's what I'm following on Legal AF for you. What's going to drop tomorrow with the United States Supreme Court and their decision? I don't think it's going to be the tariff decision. I think that's going to be later in March, April, May, or June. But we will see what the decision is they're going to announce. Later this week, oral argument on whether Lisa Cook keeps her job on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors or Donald Trump, by social media posts, can fire her without due process and take over the independence of the Federal Reserve. That is on the oral argument list for this week, and that will be a live oral argument live stream over on Legal AF YouTube. The Davos summit with the protests going on in the streets in Switzerland as Donald Trump and Russia and European leaders all meet in Switzerland, not to ski, but to decide if the global economy is going to blow up or not. Is it going to end with a bang or a whimper? At that same time, the EU, European Union, is meeting in Brussels for an emergency meeting on Thursday about what to do about Donald Trump. We will follow it all here on Legal AF and on MeidasTouch Network. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button here on Meidas, on Legal AF YouTube channel as well. Until my next report, this is Michael. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.